Good afternoon. Welcome. Risk On, episode 43. Brought to you by FOMO, best multi-chain trading experience. Go download it today. Trade on Base, trade on Solana, trade on BNB, trade all your favorite memes, AI coins, everything. Use promo code RISKON for 10% off of your trading fees. And join us all there today as we try to navigate these difficult times and markets. Welcome, Sats, Swizzle. Good to see you guys. Sats looks like he's in a porn studio.
Yeah, I am. New job in the bear market. I've got to make things work. Got to pull the strings where I can. Yeah, Tom also gets called Soul Porn Tom as well. So
Soul Porn Tom.
Yeah, Soul Porn Tom. So yeah, Bonk Fan
Is that a widely known nickname?
It is. Yeah. Reconstructing Bonk Fan to a porn studio. That's the way we're gonna have to go at this point.
I mean, bear market things.
Bear market things. Everyone's trying to. I think it seems like everyone's trying to sue each other in group chats. Everyone's trying to sue companies. Everyone, when the lawsuits start coming out, it's usually the signs of bear market stuff. So,
was there ever porn on Pump Fund during the CCM meta?
Oh yeah,
there was coins from it. How'd that do?
There was live streams. There was a few. There was a lot of questionable stuff. I remember at one point we were all very, very worried that the feds would start getting involved because there was some crazy shit going on.
Someone killed themselves on live stream.
They did,
that's not good, and somehow we've all forgotten about that.
We did all forget about that. I remember I think everyone on CT was tweeting like, "Wow, this is going too far. Like we are running the risk of this getting real bad real fast." And then they ended up pulling the plug. To be fair to them, they ended up pulling the plug.
It took them a couple days though.
Oh, it took them a few days. Yeah,
it took too long.
They got some revenue out of that. But
I feel like that was the first time they were like, they really didn't want to pull the plug, but the guy killed himself or something, and then they shut it down, and then that's why it was kind of surprising when they brought back that CCM meta a few months ago, because it was like, oh, so they never wanted to shut it down in the first place. This is what they wanted to do. They just kind of had no choice the first time around, but that showed that they never really veered off. Like that was their business model. Maybe they're off of it now, it appears, but
I'm guessing what they did is they pulled like a Facebook and hired a bunch of moderators in India or something to monitor all the live streams going on, and they would just pull things down as they came up.
Yeah. Probably the best way to do it as well. Probably the only way to moderate what the hell was going on there. It's still a bit of is Pump Fund live streaming big at the moment? I don't know if it is.
I don't even know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a crazy one.
Yeah, I've barely spent any time on that app. Although when I first started trading, pre.
We lost him.
We lost Sats. When I first started trading Pump Fund, I would connect to Pump Fund Raw Dog from the Jupiter app. And that's how I would trade Pump Fund tickers in the beginning.
Oh, like they had the sidebar where you could connect your wallet, powered by Jupe?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like the old school. Man, we got to get a sponsorship from these guys because I'm about to bring them up for a third episode in a row. But kind of like the original, the OG Bird Eye.
Yes.
They were the first. Sats is laughing, but they were the first ones to have an integration via Jupe where you could trade on site. And I don't explicitly trade via Bird Eye. I still do use Bird Eye. But man, they were pioneers, if we're being honest.
I've got to say, I made my life-changing trades off Bird Eye.
You did?
I did, yeah. I bought Shark Cat off Bird Eye. I bought Pop Cat off Bird Eye.
Shark Cat off Bird Eye?
I did, yeah. I did.
How is Bird Eye not our sponsor yet?
I don't know, man.
And by the way, this is not they're not secretly our sponsor, and we're just shilling Bird Eye.
We've just
if anyone is out
long.
there, if anyone still is working at Bird Eye, if that's still a thing, we're interested. We are. I am a loyal user currently. It's my favorite place to check charts.
I had Bird Eye Premium for 2 years.
I never used Bird Eye Premium. I never bought that.
Wood is he's the only user ever of Bird Eye Premium.
What does that get you? What does Bird Eye Premium get you? There's no fees.
It got me unlimited. So when you would filter for things, it's still the best way to filter and find coins, by the way. But when you would filter and try to find like the top coins or whatever, it would limit you to the first 100 coins if you didn't have premium. But if you wanted to see more than 100 coins, then you needed premium.
Well, the other reason it's better is, you guys know when you go on Deck Screener and you see like, 7 different pools or pairs for a token come up. And so then you look at the main one, you're like, oh, that's how much volume there is, or how do I know if this one's real, whatever. Like Bird Eye, maybe they're not perfect, but they aggregate it. So like you don't have to filter through anything. So you just look at total aggregate volume. And I could be wrong, and maybe all of my like analysis on that is off, but like I go off of Bird Eye volume data. And I take it as gospel. I take it as gospel.
I'll tell Swizzle, like, oh,
we must be sponsored by these guys. We are actually they must be picking up fucking volume from us.
Last thing on Bird Eye, then we'll move on, is I'll tell Swizzle, like, oh, like this coin is great, but it's only doing like $1 million in volume, and Swizzle will be like, well. Bird Eye says it's doing $3 million in volume, you fucking idiot. And he does it to me at least twice a week.
Bird Eye must be the truth of all.
Either that, or they're just inflating all volume numbers, because it's typically is higher than the Deck Screener numbers. But
it's always higher, and I'm always wrong. Anyways, Bitcoin looks like shit again. Everything looks like shit again. But we're in good spirits, on the timeline. At least, right? Like the Bitcoin to zero Google searches haven't hit an all-time high or anything.
Yeah, I don't know if my timeline is the same as yours right now. Mine seems to be doom and despair. Doom and despair. AI's taking everyone's jobs and everyone's cooked. That seems to be my timeline.
Yeah. My timeline is not good either. No one's happy. Everybody's fighting. Pump Fund KOLs are out doing Pump Fund KOL things, making everyone angry. We got Citrini writing an article that the world is about to literally end. Crypto guys are pivoting to like vibe coding. Bitcoin's 63K. Have you guys started to allocate like more? Like, are we just like waiting for lower?
Man, I'm just waiting. I was thinking the other day, like it's. You hate to be bearish, but like, all the shit going on right now, and I think the Zach post has really sprung this into my mind, of how bad this industry has gotten. With every big player at the moment can be considered to be in this Zach article. So every big revenue producing profitable app everyone's like, oh, it could be them. So we have no one who we're like, oh, they're good players. Like, we're all sus of everyone right now. That's fucking worrying. That's really troubling. And it's like the worst of the worst shit, what people get accused of. It's like, well, so yeah, it's a bit worrying, and it's like, do we need to get to the point where we have a big cleanse again, like post FTX, where things go a bit quiet and we get a bigger reset? Because it kind of feels like that is necessary, and that's the path everything's going down as we speak right now. Obviously, we'll see what Zach's post is about, but it's making me, it just makes it a bit tough when you see every single founder getting brought into question, and then all the shit that they've done or potentially have done, it gets revisited, and you're like, wow, this looks pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty pretty par for the course as far as like bear market activity. I think we're seeing like this is that moment, right, where it's like, okay, people are now a lot of people have lost a lot of money, and now it's looking at the point like, okay, we need to point our fingers at someone. And so there's a lot of accusations coming out now. There's a lot of hostility. I think, tensions are high, and part of that is based on boredom, because it's almost like, we could have another aggressive move at any point. I think we've learned that, but like, the thrust and like force of the violent moves down have been like kind of slowing down a little bit, or like, it's more of like a chop now. And so I think there's like an element of like built up fatigue and, frustration and regret and all that stuff, combined with some boredom now. And I think when that boredom level hits and everyone's impatiently waiting, that's where the pitchforks seem to come out. And I think we're hitting that stage of the cycle. Obviously, there has to be things that are actually happening, and in this industry, there's no shortage of that. So like there are smoking guns here, and so I think the pitchforks are coming out. I actually, to answer your question, Wood, I am allocated right now. I can't necessarily say that's a good thing. Like I definitely am questioning my decision making process on that and feel like maybe I should be flat, but like I'm in specifically BTC, Hype, and Zech. I re-entered Zech. Like I think my mindset on this is, I really don't like using the sentiment check as much because like I feel like there's a misconception where everyone says, oh, when the sentiment is the worst, that's when the bottom is and that's when the time to bid is. And it's like, yes, in retrospect, you see that sentiment is very bad before bottom, but it doesn't dictate like when that sentiment bottom is going to happen. So like you always have times where you think it's the sentiment bottom and then you bid and then there's actually 20% lower and then that's the sentiment bottom. The reason I am allocated is more like I think we've had a really, from December on to here, it's been a really crushing 3 months for Bitcoin. And I do think there's some short-term potential catalyst that could lead to a relief rally on the horizon. And, my thought process is like, could we go lower? Sure. And like, I do not want this to happen, but with those core bags, I could grit my teeth and hold. Whereas like, there's a March 1 deadline for the Clarity Act. I think it's kind of like priced in to me that it's not going to happen. And so like, there's that. I think certainty about what the resolution of that, regardless of whether it gets passed or not, kind of like maybe takes a breath of air where people can stop talking about that. There's just been a lot of like negative catalysts. And so I think the market is probably going to look for a reason to have some relief and some fresh air. And so I think like some type of meaningful counter trend rally probably has to happen to me at some point. We could go significantly lower before that happens, but I think it has to happen to me at some point in March would be my guess. And I think that the key for me on that is just making sure I stay disciplined and not convince myself that, oh, that was like the macro bottom and I can be full risk on. Like, I'm going to be disciplined about how I handle this, but I'm okay with holding core spot bags right now.
The only thing I currently hold is Hype and BTC, and it's like I don't hold a lot, maybe like 10% of my port right now. And it's still, even then, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know, Bitcoin is attractive at these levels, full stop. Like, I think if you're planning on a long-term horizon, you can hold here for a year plus, and you're going to be in profit. But I'm min-maxing this, and I think maybe because I'm online all day as well, and I see this all playing out, it's kind of making me even more bearish. I think as bad as it is, you just need to sometimes log off and then stop checking when shit is this bad. Everyone always says, "I'll stay online in the bear markets," but sometimes you're better off just waiting for a reversal signal and not trying to time the bottom.
I think I'm about like 30% allocated for what I want to buy, and I'm probably only going to buy Bitcoin with like bear market money. I don't really have any interest in betting on alts. Like, yeah, like Hype might be the Solana of next cycle, but like there's also a chance it might not be. And I'm not really like as sold on it as I need to be, especially at $27 to buy a lot of it. So I'm like 30% allocated. I'll be patient with the rest of it. I bought on the first nuke, I think I bought, my average is like 65K. I bought another Bitcoin today at 63.5. And that's all I'm going to buy for now. And I'll just keep waiting, with the rest of my funds. And I'm probably only going to be buying Bitcoin, and then I'll keep a gambling stack, on chain to fuck around with. I tweeted, Swizzle and I were having this conversation about, and I think the three of us were, how it's not healthy to be online right now, trading in the trenches specifically. In my opinion, I think, because when the time comes and you do need to like be able to irrationally believe and hold, you will have potentially conditioned yourself to not believe, right? So someone in my Twitter comments yesterday said like, oh, it's simple. It's just like a taking profit market right now. You just need to completely pivot how you trade. And like, it's not that simple. I've seen people say that before, and it's like, you just need to pivot how you're trading, because the guys that are take profit traders aren't the ones making irrational gains in easy mode and in bull markets. So if you adapt that mindset, when the time comes to believe, you're going to sell the next whiff at 50 million bucks instead of $5 billion. And I truly believe that by trading too much, I think you need to stay logged in and like following Twitter and buying majors and keeping in tune with the trenches, staying tapped into your group chats and whatever. But I think trading right now is going to create bad habits for when easy mode comes back, and that is when there's the most money to be made. Like scrapping over peanuts right now and creating bad habits is not worth it in the long term, in my opinion. And I'm starting to realize that. And so I tweeted that the other day. And some people called it a bottom signal or whatever, but I think that's just like, I can't think of any reason to be actively trading this market with size in the trenches right now.
I actually hate that one when you tweet something and then someone's in the comments saying, "Oh, this is a bottom signal." Like, nah, bro. This is reality, bro. This is what's going on right now. Like, sorry to break your fucking heart. Like, yeah, sometimes it's not a bottom signal. It's just, and I think even to touch on like sentiment, a little bit what Swizzle was talking about. I just don't think that. I think it was more prominent in the past of what was going on. Like sentiment was easy to gauge, but now there's just like CT's changed a lot. A lot of people are obviously paid to say things now, way more than they were in the past. So that changes everything, in my opinion. So it's hard thing to gauge, and obviously there's some accounts what you can trust, but it's. I guess you just got you got to lean on your own opinions more than anyone else, and you can't let anyone else's tweets or anything get you to what you think. I think.
Yeah, I mean, Wood, to your point. Sorry, I don't know if I'm a little delayed, guys. Let me know if it's a problem. To your point, like I know it's kind of a meme, this market psychology chart that people always reference, but I think I specifically had always kind of like espoused, especially on this show, the idea of like staying online during the bear. And that, for me, that was a personal experience last cycle where that's what enabled me to grow my network, to kind of learn how things worked. And it got me ahead. I'm kind of discovering the other side of that this cycle, where I think, to your point, like, I don't think it's plus EV to be logging in every day. There's so much that you feel like so much can be happening, and a lot of it just leads to there's just a ton of garbage happening. And so to your point, like, if you think we're somewhere in this bear period where, regardless if this is depression, panic, anger, disbelief, wherever you think we are, that means you're having these negative feelings. If you're looking at all this shit that's going wrong in the trenches, trying to like trade yourself in this environment that's just chopping you up almost by design, that's being manufactured, I think what that leads to is like, you're going to create a large sense of disillusionment for yourself right now. And you're just not, it's going to be really hard to not have a fatigued mindset and go back to snapping into like the believing in stuff mindset, or at least even be able to look at things from a fresh mindset and a fresh perspective. So I don't know, man. Like, I think the market's it's gonna show its hand when it shows signs of life. It's not gonna happen like in a snap moment. And I think you might be better off being late after having confirmation of a bull market trend, and you'll know when it's time to rejoin and really actively be a part of things. So my new mindset, even though I've kind of like suggested the opposite on this show before, is I think like check in a couple times a day or whatever, but like, you're really not missing anything right now. No. You're just not.
I think to what you're saying, so it's like being late when the market reverses, like, or waiting for confirmation at least, like, you're going to be early still if you are noticing the right signs and you're tapped in. Like, I didn't buy Solana until like $35 this cycle. And like that was kind of like a confirmation of a trend, right? Like it had kind of broken out a little bit. And we're looking at that like, holy shit, like Solana went to $240. Like in hindsight, I was still really fucking early. But at the time,
even if you had bought at 80,
even if I bought at 80,
like, yeah.
So like there is plenty of time to like make good returns, and then on-chain conditions heat up accordingly with that. So I think there's a lot of value to what you're saying there.
Man, even when we say Solana's at $80, it sounds fucking crazy still. I remember when
it's at 80 right now. I didn't.
70,
I wasn't even
below,
thinking about
it's
that.
like 76.
Yeah, 70. Yeah, but like I remember when Solana first rallied, like way back in the day, and it originally hit 70, and it was like, holy shit, like this is unreal. Like this was on the first run up like of Solana, when the all-time high was $80, and yeah, it's crazy that we're back here now. We're back here, and this is just complete despair, and everyone's horrified.
Everyone's horrified, but
everyone's horrified. Everyone hates Toli. Yeah. It's a bit of a. It's just a tough environment. It's just like I said, like we said at the start, real bear market stuff going on.
Bear market shit. Vitalik ruthlessly selling ETH.
Yeah,
hasn't stopped. He started selling again this morning.
How much he sold?
He sold 7.3 mil as of yesterday. I'm not sure what it's.
Good harvest. Good harvest, Vitalik. Well in.
But you know he's got an unlimited biggie bank of ETH, so I mean I'd probably be selling ETH too if I were him. Good.
He's just a casual, smooth DCA out. We were talking about it yesterday. The fact that like he's just not even, it's just like just casually selling it while Tom Lee's just like, digging in deeper, buying, and it's like, man, the founder is just. You're watching exit liquidity in motion right now.
Yeah. What if he could figure out an OTC deal, man? Like, if he wants to offload a lot, like surely he could figure out an OTC deal, and it would be a lot more cleaner than what is going on right now.
But I don't think that's how Vitalik is wired. I think he's a different kind of dude. Like I think he doesn't think there's anything wrong. He's just
a purist.
Like, he's purist. He's
You're
being very
supposed
transparent.
to sell this on the blockchain. You're supposed to let everybody see it. That's how it's meant to be done. And I think he believes that.
I think he's pretty transparent.
He is.
He
is.
He's got a mechanical mind. Like he doesn't emotionally process these things the same way as us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not great. You got that. You got Jamie Dimon warning about a 2008 type crash. Real bear market shit. But I do want to talk about the ZachXBT thing because I think it's fun. Mm-hmm. I know, Sats, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to pull up the Polymarket and I want to talk about who we think it could be. Why, if we think it's a big deal at all, if it's any of these people.
By the way, this is the type of stuff in a market like this, like even though this is probably depending on who it is, it could be destructive for crypto in our bags if it's bad enough. Yeah. But we need stuff like this. This is good entertainment. This is good drama.
I was saying I wanted it to be pump or hyperliquid. Those would be the worst two for the industry, of course. But it would be the most
would be devastating.
Hype would be devastating.
Those wouldn't be the worst. Hype would be bad. Pump, I don't think that would be. Pump would be the best outcome for the industry to me. The least destructive. That would be positive. That would be not positive for crypto.
Someone else will just do what Pump's doing.
These other, I don't know. I mean, at least you'd be exposing something that. Sorry, I shouldn't be making accusations if we don't know what's going on.
Allegedly.
I'm saying that it's a product. It's an app. It's like a token launching platform, which is pretty harmful to like the state of on-chain, anyways. So, I would rather see that than like an exchange, doing things with user funds or, like real insider trading stuff. I think would be pretty problematic.
The only thing what I would like to know about Pump for sure, and this is coming from a bonk fund perspective. This is coming from me as a personal trader. Is what the fuck is going on with the buybacks? There is something going on here, and no one knows what it is. We've got dude ass tweeting that there's 500 million going back into the chart, but there just isn't. There just isn't 500 million go back to the chart. So where the fuck is it going? And no one seems to have any answers. And everyone tweets about it, like, yeah, well, there's something going on here, but like, we can't do anything about it. So we're just gonna stop talking about it. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just that doesn't seem like a very healthy thing. Maybe it's something simple like it's just VCs have unlocks and they're selling. But then, I just don't know, man. There's just something going on. There's something going on. And like we said before, when there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Yeah.
What's the saying, Sats? Is it Occam's razor? Have you heard of
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Usually the simplest explanation is the best. So there's a pretty simple, logical explanation to that one.
Yeah, and I hope it is. I hope it is, and it's just VCs have bags to offload, and that's the way of the game, which I respect. That's just how it is sometimes. They raised a lot of money. This is with where tokens are concerned. This is how sometimes it plays out. But yeah, this is it would be devastating for a lot of these apps. I think Jupiter would be really bad. Obviously, Hype would be completely devastating. Mexi would be a big nothing burger. Meteora, I mean, we've had Soju on before. Soju's a great guy. But
I think we should touch on Meteora.
They've been in some dodgy shit. I think especially around the Trump launch.
They were in some of the most profitable dodgy shit of the cycle.
Yeah, Trump, Libra, Melina,
Baron.
And a lot of this has actually been exposed already, right?
Exactly.
I think everyone knows this.
Ben Chu had to leave. He had to resign as a result of the Libra. I believe it was the Libra launch, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and also I don't know if even the average crypto native participant really understands how deeply integrated Meteora is into the Solana ecosystem, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think so. A lot of people just don't really know what it is. They just know it's a big app, and they don't really know what it does. But
they clearly worked with these teams to launch. They helped build out these launches, so it's not a far stretch to jump to the conclusion that what ZachXBT is going to talk about is that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really think that's. I mean, it's not great, but it's also not the end of. It's kind of par for the course.
I mean, yeah, I feel like everyone already knows about that.
It's not surprising. If they bought some Trump on launch, well, it was a token that launched, or they bought Libra when it launched, it already launched.
Yeah, and Mexi would be. I think that would be really disappointing. I don't think everyone knows if you're using Mexi in the Big 26 and you get scammed by them, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Stop using fucking Mexi. I don't want to.
I do want to talk about Hyperliquid because there was a lot of it. When Zach first posted, there was a lot of initial fear. The chart was dumping. It might have been unrelated. It might have just been that it was a bad day, and it kind of outperformed Bitcoin on the way down. But people were really concerned. It seemed because this would obviously be a bad scenario. And then I think people started thinking about it. They said, well, it really doesn't make sense. It couldn't be Hype. What would be what is the plausible explanation if Hype were to be involved in any of this? In what way could they even do this?
Yeah, I was trying to think of what they insider trading fucking metals, listing metals on Hype. I don't know. And does a Hype listing really have any impact to a chart in this day and age? I don't think so.
Or front running listings, but can they even really do that in comparison to these centralized exchanges that are
exactly? Yeah, they don't really have an edge unless they're just cracking longs on the fucking. It's just it doesn't really make any sense. I think there's a reason it's 1%. I don't think it's Hype. I don't see an angle where it could be groundbreaking ZachXBT grand expose of them.
Well, and it was funny timing that the Trump family was deleting a bunch of tweets yesterday.
Oh yeah, what the hell is going? I know. On
we were talking about it in the one chat. Everyone was like, it could be WorldFi. Eric Trump is deleting all these tweets, and then we scrolled back up. We're like, no, wait. He said profitable business.
Yeah.
So I think we have to cut them out because they don't match the criteria.
They made close to $500,000 off of me. So I don't know. We're talking about profitable businesses. This guy took all my money. But I don't know. I think ZachXBT also tweeted that he hopes it doesn't disappoint.
Oh God! So it's Mexi. Fuck's sake.
So
where did the white whale stuff happen? Was that Bybit or Mexi?
Bybit, yeah.
Bybit, yeah. It could be Bybit.
Nah, man, it's going to be Mexi. Just based on that tweet, it's going to be Mexi, and it's going to be underwhelming as fuck because we all know they're sketchy. yeah, like I said, if you're using Mexi in the big 26, like no words.
Sats, you strike me as a guy who probably dabbled around with Mexi
Probably
a bit though.
What are you trying to say, bro?
Yes or no? Have you been a Mexi trader before?
I've been a Mexi trader before. Back in the day, obviously, yeah, I was dabbling in Mexi. They were one of the exchanges you didn't have to KYC for back in the day, and you could use them quite freely.
What about KuCoin? Were you ever a KuCoin guy?
I was a big KuCoin guy back in the day. When KuCoin listings, like they would list just any old bullshit.
Anything.
Oh my god! Wow. I didn't really back then. I didn't really know how on chain worked, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't dabble on chain, but I would just be straight on the KuCoin listing.
I learned the hard way that KuCoin, because if you didn't want to KYC, you had like 4 tries to like remember your password or something.
Yeah.
And if you didn't remember your password, they just took your money forever.
Yeah.
And so I lost money to KuCoin because I forgot my password one time. And the only way to get it back was to KYC it. But if I KYC'd, then they would have kept it anyways because I wasn't eligible to trade in their platform anyways.
Yeah. So you just
KuCoin has money of mine.
Yeah, I haven't really heard of them this cycle. No one really give a fuck. I think they just started charging for listings. Can I say that? Yeah, I can. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
Everyone charges for listings.
Yeah, they were charging. Yeah, but then people were like, oh, "No, we didn't. No, we didn't." Like Binance, when they got accused of charging for listings, they're like, "We would never do that." It's like, bro, yeah, you do.
I've heard so many stories.
Yeah, these listings. I feel like these exchanges, we kind of view them as tiers of like quality, right? I feel like they work together in a way. I'm just saying shit right now, but like when you looked at like the early wave of these meme coin listings and everything in 2020, early 2024, it was like almost algorithmic, where it was like they would get the Mexi listing or the Gate listing first, and then a few days later you would see like I don't know what was the next
KuCoins.
Yeah, KuCoin, Crypto.com, like Bybit was then a level up, and then it'd be Binance or Coinbase or whatever. But it was almost like you had to see the Mexi listing that no one cared about or traded off of first. And so clearly they were just like, I can only imagine they were like, pay us X amount of money, we will list you, and then you can go tell these other exchanges that you're already listed on some centralized exchanges. Something like that, right?
It turned into a big like circle jerk of like, that process you just saw, and then it was like, oh, to get listed on our exchange, you need to have a market maker. So we're gonna show you our market maker. We're gonna propose to you, and we're gonna charge you an extortionate fee, and you're gonna go and ask all the guys to pay up. Otherwise, you guys are fucked.
And then you started having the funnel down where there was these other entities that were like, well, we could be the verification of the listing before Mexi, which no one uses Mexi to trade this, but it's a status symbol. So now we're going to verify you on Moonshot or MoonPay or whatever it was. So now you're going to get a bump from that. And if you have to have that so you can get Mexi, so that then you can get a real exchange. But then you kept going down, and now it's like, well, now we have to get verified on FOMO before we can get verified, whatever. So it never stops. It never stops.
Just some new layer you need to
They must have made so many. You know how many times, even back in the day, like 2 years ago, you would be in a meme coin, it would go high, you would be sat on good unrealized gains, and then the whale chat gets made. And then all of a sudden, we are raising for the listings. Everyone must pay up. If you don't pay up, you are viewed as terrible.
I think this is a fun exercise. Can we, if you guys are open to it, I want to go through which coins you donated for the listings and if they ever happened.
Bro, fucking hell, man. So I donated to the PopCat one. I don't even know I think it did in the end. I don't know if my money went towards it. I donated to the Michi one once again.
I remember the whole Michi saga because Sats, you were telling me what was happening in the Michi chat, and I was just copy pasting it to the.
You were just basically.
And then you got kicked out of the mail chat because of that.
Yeah.
Sats just rattling them off. You could have just made a donor advised fund, man, and you could have helped pay for some scholarships.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. What else? What other ones did I pay for? Obviously, I think I paid for a few Shark Cat ones. Man, now I think of it, the number, what I'm currently thinking of in my head, how much I put towards exchange listings, what never happened is crazy, and it should never be.
Got to be high 5 to low 6 figures.
Oh, it's low 6 figures.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, same boat. I ripped 30 into FWOG alone. And not a single listing happened.
Yeah, but that one might have been plus EV because the price kept going up as a result of the theoretical possibility of these things happening.
Yeah, but we were told not. But yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the theoretical possibility of that listing just never came to fruition.
I'm trying to think. There was one other cat coin I donated a lot to.
Sats was just donating to cat coins.
I said that like my GCR thesis was like, oh, there's not enough cat coins. So I was just in every cat coin on the blockchain, and obviously you send in tokens as well, and you send a little bit USD, and you send mostly tokens. So the value is a bit skewed, obviously, but. Yeah, it's definitely low six figures. Painful now. I haven't thought of that ever. And yeah, that's a tough one.
Even like if you think of it this way, like it was worth so much at the time you were willing to give that money, and if you just held that money, it'd be worth 0 today, anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good cope.
It's kind of like whatever.
I have a feeling it was Mini.
You were a Mini guy. I remember you trying to convince me to buy Mini. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I was a Michi guy. I was a Mini guy. I was a Popcat guy. If it was a cat,
were hammy guys?
I was a big hammy guy. I was a big hammy guy. Too. Hammy was a coin I bought and forgot about, and I owned like 3 or 4%, and all of a sudden it just started ripping out of nowhere.
Oh, that's why the chart went down.
Oh yeah, I dealt with that chart. I was hesitating on saying that, but no, I can definitely that chart got well and truly dealt with.
Hey, sorry, this is a bit off topic, but I was just reading through the show notes. Speaking of the exchange drama. Did you guys know this week is the 1-year anniversary of the Bybit hack, which I feel like was a massive deal, and it's kind of just forgotten about now. But like, whatever happened to so North Korea stole like 1.5 billion out of there was like some like multi-sig transfer that got compromised, and then did we never hear back about it? Like, is that money just sitting somewhere? It was in ETH. I want to say.
I think I could be chatting shit. Tether froze it, maybe, or Circle froze it.
I have no clue what happened.
I don't know.
All I know is that Ben from Bybit put his nuts on the table and just covered 1.5 billion.
Yeah, I mean,
he just said, "No big deal. I got this." Like, it's
you
cost of
can't
doing business. And it's just like, it was like, oh fuck, like that's.
Oh, so they did resolve it pretty effectively.
Instantly, they didn't even hesitate. They were just like, your funds are safe. We're going to deposit funds to your signature. We got it covered. Sucks that this happened, but like, we have the money to cover it. We have funds for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And they
that was crazy. And that's a year ago. That time has gone so fast in this space. Time literally flies in this space. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be talking about the ZachXBT post in a year if it's a big deal. And we'll be sat here going, wow, do you remember that, guys? Wow, a year ago. Remember when the whole industry blew up that 1 week? Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think it's going to be a nothing burger. I hope that, like, I think Swizzle or Sats, you were saying this in the beginning of the show, that we need a cleansing event. I was moderately hopeful in the beginning that this would be our cleansing event, and that like something horrible would come out and prices would nuke and it would be really bad for the industry or whatever. But and that was selfish, just to expedite the bear market. But I don't think we're gonna get it.
I don't know if I agree with you though, Wood, like, or both of you guys. I don't think the industry necessarily should want another cleansing event here, because like, I understand historically that's what has happened and that's what's created bottoms, but like at a certain point you want the industry to be taken seriously, and that right now it fights a stigma. Like there is a lot of like cool technology, like everything about the industry has been built on like the hope of it maturing. There's like a long-term mindset that it will mature, and that's where you'll find like true product market fit and everything. If every cycle is like a catastrophic black swan, everything falls apart only to be rebuilt, eventually it doesn't rebound, because it's like, okay, like all the stigma and concerns and everything are borne out to be true. I don't think you want that. So unpopular opinion, but like I think we just need to bottom find a way to bottom on no news, where the market just decides it's ready to go up again, or a positive catalyst.
I do agree with you, but it's like I think we have just so many. I think we have so many useless products. Number one, I think that's apparent. We have way too many tokens of complete slop. What have to go to zero? With the way that happens, it will happen. It'll happen in this bear market where we've already seen tokens literally just drain slowly to zero. And I think there is some bad actors in this space who are in key areas still, and it has to sort of
So you
progress.
think they need to be removed, and they're not going to be removed unless it's forcibly?
Yeah, because I mean, like, what's going to happen is this is just going to keep on going on, and if they survive this cycle, they're going to be back for blood next cycle, and more liquidity leaves the ecosystem. It becomes harder and harder to build, and it's a bit like where Sam was cleansed out. What would the industry be like if Sam kept on going the way he did? To be fair, like, he would have been up
Very
crazy. Yeah, he would have
Yeah.
been crazy rich. It would have played out. But what if he got it wrong now and FTX was double the size? The blowout would have been 10 times worse. So it's sort of, in my opinion, it's sort of easy. Like, it's better now to get them out the door. Yes, we suffer short-term pain, but we always will recover. Better builders come in and take their space, and then we run the cycle back again. They get slammed, and we go again and again.
Yeah, but you have to eventually, if you want the industry to be taken seriously, which right now it's not in a great place, like, you have to, at some point, you have to break that. People forget Bitcoin. It's only 16 years old, right? So Bitcoin is 16 years old, and everything else that has come after is very, very young. So, like, I suppose there's still time, and that's not a process that just happens overnight. But, like, I would like to see that cycle break at some point.
Yeah, I mean, every cycle we come out with something, we like a product sticks, and we find a good use case. Like this cycle, we had Hyperliquid. That was the main stick. That is going to stay around forever. What would you guys say if you had to name your top 5 businesses in crypto? What would it be, including Tether, including Circle, including Hyperliquid? I can't even think of another 2.
I mean, Tether, Binance.
Yeah, Binance,
Coinbase, Circle, Hyperliquid.
Yeah.
It's basically exchanges, stablecoins, real world assets. We still need to see how that plays out. But there's clearly something there. And then, like, perpetuals, like the new era of derivatives trading, or whatever you want to call it. Basically like financial tooling and custodial services. But I think there was a hope that there's still got to be a hope that there's, like, other breakout apps or products that can be created just on top of these rails, which hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll find out. Time will tell. Now, if you look at the Citrini article that everyone has talked about, it kind of gives the impression that we're arguing over a bunch of things that just don't matter because AI is going to kill us all. I don't know if Sats is back.
Yeah, I think I'm lagging, and my laptop's on 3%. This could be catastrophic.
We'll wrap up.
Could be catastrophic. Wait.
I would just say, Sats, that regardless of what we think about the future of crypto, if you read that Citrini article, and you always gone again, and you believe in anything that they're saying, then none of this really matters. Did you get a chance to read through that, Swizzle?
I haven't read it as in depth as you guys, but I was skimming through it pre-show. I wasn't as profoundly impacted by it as I think a lot of people were. I mean, I think it is, yes, it's a plausible, like, it's a fun, hyperbolic, plausible scenario. I think you can look back in time, and any time there's been technological advancements at a significant magnitude, there's always been fear and doomerism associated with that. Typically, innovation has been good for society, though.
Yes.
In terms of, like, I won't always say, like, for a culture, but, like, in terms of the economy, like, it always creates fear. But usually the opposite happens. You find ways to have more efficiency, more output. And I think that's going to be the same. I think this was a very, very cynical approach. But, a well laid out article for sure.
Yeah, I think they advertised it as such too. This is like a worst case scenario type of situation. Yeah. The thing I did find interesting, just about like that we're starting to see come to fruition with layoffs and tech specifically, is just like this negative feedback loop and how budgets are going to be rebalanced completely, and how human capital, we're going to invest so much less in human capital going forward and more in AI, which AI doesn't contribute to, to GDP in a way that,
right.
In a meaningful way. And I think that we do underestimate that to some degree. But at the same time, I'm hopeful. There was a good article by this guy, Will Manidis, that I just tweeted out, kind of counteracting the Citrini article that I think everyone should also read. And it kind of walks through how we've approached modern tech and AI and all that, and how like ultimately what we're doing with AI and what we've done with tech isn't sustainable. And there will be a crash, or it will, get fucked at some point. We'll have to pivot into more sustainable things. And I think read that. I think we should all read that and talk about that next time. Because I think
we could repost. We should repost both on our socials. We'll have the Citrini article there. I'm sure everyone has seen it, but if not, and then we'll post the one that Wood's talking about right now, so you can see the counter perspective. Both very valid reads, very interesting. But this is good discourse. I think like it's going to be a bumpy road. Like we're primarily a crypto podcast, but we're shifting into, we want to cover some of the kind of AI tooling developments as well, because there's a lot of crossover, and it's all going to be interconnected here, and like how all of these AI developments get implemented is going to be really interesting, and I'm going to take the optimistic side on it. But
I think I'm going to too. I think we have to take the optimistic side to it.
Yeah.
Like
what's the alternative, sanity. Right?
The alternative is like we all die, and we all have 1 year to make it, and we just click, go 100x long on Hyperliquid nonstop, and that is not a fun alternative.
Well, in that case, then crypto, it can give you perps trading, it can give you prediction markets, it can give you all your entertainment avenues, because that's all there's left to do, right? So that's the depressed doomer angle to it.
Seriously,
I'm going to choose not to believe in that.
Seriously. All right, well, we'll wrap it up here. I think we lost Sats. So his 3% battery thing came to life. We'll be back Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern. Hopefully better prices. Hopefully we're just at the bottom of the range, and we'll bounce here, and there will be some more fun things to trade on chain.
Higher low, Wood? Still in play. Still in play. Still in play.
I'm pulling up the chart too. It is still in play, actually. Oh, man. Okay. We'll be back Friday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, go download FOMO, promo code RISKON, 10% off all trading fees. Check it out. And we'll see y'all Friday.